Eric's favorite.
Let's get it, baby.
Eric's favorite. Oh,
Dude, you know what this is? This is the official soundtrack of the MLB All-Star uniforms.
So it sucks?
Yes.
That's what Eric says, man. But every time it puts us in a great mood. It just gets us ready for Friday. The sun is shining, guys.
Friday is like
outside.
mostly over. Like if you're not ready
It's
for
not
Friday,
mostly over. Friday is not mostly over. The work part of Friday is mostly over, but the fun part of Friday is right around the corner.
Friday has whatever. I hate
Friday night
Let's
is yet to begin.
Friday night is upon us.
You know, I'm a big fan of Eric's energy today. He's taking off the show here. No, I'm just kidding. I'll bring him back. What is up, everybody, and welcome into a very casual Friday. So casual, man. A very casual Friday edition of the DNBA show.
Am I overdressed?
You are very overdressed, man. You are very overdressed.
I'll take my.
We've got a crazy show for you today, guys, because we are bringing back some old classics. The Steps are gonna make a return today, guys. The Steps.
Oh boy.
So is Adam's internet, apparently. Right off the bat, we got Fuzzy Marias.
Fuzzy Marias?
Yeah, dude.
Audio's clean.
I can't believe we were able to win that copyright battle and get the Steps back. It's unbelievable.
We're also bringing back a lesser recurring bit, but still, it's an okay one. Online with D-Line. That'll be making its return.
Not too excited.
Could skip it.
But we are debuting a fantastic new series called Wind on One, where Harrison Wind sits down with somebody and talks to them.
Yeah. I interview somebody about something.
What?
Yeah, that's a little teaser.
I didn't know that part. I only thought it was just going to be you talking. I didn't realize there'd be somebody else, and you would talk.
I know that's what you would prefer, but no, it's me and somebody else. Yeah.
Wow.
So I can't wait for all that. I'm going to introduce. We're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up. Right now, there's an odds boost. You can get plus 100 for Milwaukee. I think that's a good bet. Usually, those odds boosts, I think, are sucker bets. I don't see Milwaukee going down 0-2 at home, guys. I don't see that happening. So you get plus money that they win tonight. That's great. That's a great deal.
Is that right?
Am I wrong?
I'm definitely taking that. I guarantee they're gonna win tonight.
You are the Chuck of this group. I got the man with the wind in his hair with this. He must be on the Peloton a lot lately because look at that jawline. It's always good, but today very strong. Very strong.
I know he's either been on the Peloton or bought a chisel.
No, we set our wedding date actually, so already just cutting for the wedding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, man? I was trying to figure out. I'm like, man, Lindsay and Brandon look great lately. I'm like, oh, it's their wedding. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Dead giveaway.
It's fun, man. They look fantastic. It's funny because Spano has they have their honeymoon photos or whatever. Spano's got a little six pack in his photos, man. He's looking. He got really
shredded.
He set a high bar for me to reach.
He did set a high bar. Man, what if Wind comes back? A little six-pack, man. Giant, bulging bicep. I expected as well. I got the man with the flowered shirt. Are they little? Are they little pterodactyl sharks?
No, it's pineapples, sharks, and trees. And see if I can find it. There's a pen ink stain on this as well. For those who are curious.
So pineapples is the international symbol for swingers.
Is that true? I gotta change my entire wardrobe. I have so much to clean up.
Yeah, I learned that one the other day. And then, of course, D-Line down in the corner. You guys know him.
Who gives a shit? Move on, guys.
Who really cares? If you guys are members, you can hop in the DNVR Lounge, the Discord channel, and you can join the show. Some of the topics we're going to be talking about today, we'd love to hear from you guys. So if you are a DNVR subscriber, you can go ahead and join us on these casual Fridays. But first, guys, Michael Malone spoke to the media today for the first time in 2 weeks since bowing out in Game 4, and it was nice. Malone looked to me. My first takeaway is that Malone looked like 2 weeks has done him well. He looked happier and more like a weight off of his shoulders more than he has in 2 years.
Yeah, well, you got to imagine. We all know how much of a taxing job an NBA head coach is, and I always say, the two jobs where people visibly age the most are the president and an NBA head coach.
Michael Malone looks so much older than he the photos of him as the introductory press conference. He looks like Vogt.
It's crazy. There's there's a youthful shine.
So youthful.
Leaping off the photo.
So full of joy and hope and possibility, and a lot of that's come to fruition, but it's a taxing job.
Well, Harrison, what stood out to you from Malone's media availability today?
Two things. These two were my favorite things that I took away from his availability. Number one, doesn't have anything to do with basketball. Whoever put the furniture in Michael Malone's house, great job. He does every Zoom interview in front of this built-in shelving unit, wall, like whatever you want to call it. I think I sent Allie a picture of it if she wants to bring it up. It's an incredible backdrop. Like there's lights on the shelves. It's really something else. So hats off to whoever furnished
it's loading. I'm sorry.
house.
Well, also, Allie, do you remember this? Allie, pop back on. Remember when you said definitively that this was a green screen background?
Okay, well, he was really struggling with Zoom and his whole connection and everything. Now it looks a lot better.
Yeah. It's the same background.
You know what, though?
It is, but it just was it was just bad before.
Harrison, I have a new challenge for you. You got to find one of these interviews before he's on screen, so you just have the background, and then make it your Zoom background for immediate availability. It would actually be an incredible baller move. You got to do it.
That's
but he does every Zoom interview at his house in front of the same backdrop, like always wearing a Nuggets polo in the same position. I respect the man for that. My other favorite little tidbit from the interview that Malone did today, the presser, the end of season presser, there was a meeting between three people after Game 4 of the Suns series. It was Michael Malone, Nikola Jokic, and Josh Kroenke just talking over beers about the season, about Nikola Jokic's horses, about like everything in between. And it, like that sight, picturing that image has like occupied my last 2 hours ever since we got off that call.
The celebrities, they're just like us. That's what we do. We just hang out and talk about Jokic's horses over beers.
So it was like a meeting of the Nuggets' 5 families, except it was just 3 of them.
Yeah. That is funny. That is what we do talk about Jokic's horses and Jokic and the Nuggets, and they were doing the same thing. Yeah. So, all right. To me, what stood out, his emphatic. There were 3 players that were called out, or not really called out, that were especially mentioned in today's availability, and PJ Dozier, Zeke, Nnaji, and Will Barton. Not the 3 you would have guessed if I were to ask you, like, what 3 players. And first and foremost, Will Barton, he was brought up, can be a free agent this summer. And in no uncertain terms did Michael Malone cape for Will Barton and hope that he returns to this Nuggets team. What do you make of that, Bo?
I mean, that's not surprising, right? If Malone is a loyalty guy, and it's Barton now, right? Who's the longest tenured. So they have that relationship. They've been through some ups and downs together. Him wanting Barton back is no surprise. And also, I mean, look, this is arguably the key development of the offseason. The Nuggets are not going to have a lot of room to bring Barton-esque production back if he decides to walk. So this is important. They need him. And I mean, need might be in this year with the context of the cap sheet, they need him, I think. And when you look at how good that group looked after the trade deadline, that should be the mindset. If we can, let's get those 5 guys back on the court together.
Yeah.
I love it. This is all like, that is the ultimate sign of who Malone is as a coach. You're right. It's like he's a loyalty guy. He's a locker room guy. Like you want to retain like the heartbeat of the locker room more than anything else. And obviously Barton played amazingly down the stretch when we needed him. Not that it ultimately mattered, but it just showed that Will has something that if he went away when he was hurt, like you just see like that glaring hole in the Nuggets offense, that self-starter that you always are craving when things sort of break down. I love it.
Yeah. It's funny because I think people point to like 2 years ago when Will Barton came back and they were worse, obviously, with him in the playoffs. And 1, he was injured. But 2, think about how much better all the guys are from 2 years ago, and Will Barton included. We just haven't seen it. And Will Barton was having his best season prior to getting hurt, and then he gets hurt. It's just like, I feel like he's the one player that gets – it's the opposite of Gary Harris, where for like 2 years we were like, Gary, if he bounces back as a shooter, and it's like, guys, he is this non-shooting version. I feel like Will Barton gets the opposite of that, where everybody's like, he's as bad as he was when he was injured 3 years ago. That's who he really is. It's like, no, I don't know necessarily about it. That being said, Will Barton, part of what's so crushing about Jamal Murray going down when he did and having to miss not only this year but most of next year is that this was when Denver had the cheap contract in Michael Porter. Going forward, you got to start planning for 3 max contracts, and how do you build around that? And if you pay what Will Barton is worth on the open market going forward, that means you really don't have anybody. You're signing just nothing but rookies and vet minimums for the next 3 years, and that's the hard part about Will Barton.
Yeah, what coaches love from their players, any player, star player, role player, and a bench guy is consistency. And Will Barton is just the model of consistency.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't know this based on the discourse around him, but the guy always shoots between 43 and 45% from the field. He always scores. He always assists. He always rebounds. Like he is really, if you look at it year over year, just one of the more consistent players that's come through Denver too.
We got Ray, the king of the chat, ready to hop on. Why don't we have him on and we can discuss this? The king of the chat.
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother? How you living?
Not too much. Just the one thing I wanted to actually get you guys' opinion on have you seen the Will Barton videos hanging out with Aaron Gordon overseas?
The online with D-Line's coming up, you SOB. Would you have a link to my list? What are you doing?
I just got my ear to the ground. I don't know.
But while we have you, Ray, do you have a commentary on it? Because it's pretty cool photos.
It's, initially I was a little nervous about him coming back, but it gives me a little bit of optimism. And that kind of experience, going through that and seeing all these new places and I don't know. Have you guys seen camels before? I have not.
I have not. I've never seen one camel.
I rode a camel once.
Wow. Not only have a camel at the zoo.
Not only have I seen camels, I've seen them in the wild before.
What?
Up in the Shelby Desert in northern Kenya.
Man.
So
Ray, what have you done?
Okay.
You've ruined my bit. You've opened it up for Adam to talk about his travels again.
Waiting years for somebody to ask me if I've seen wild camels.
Have you rode a camel though? Have you rode a camel, Adam?
No, very, very temperamental animals.
I got you there.
Harrison, 1 hump or 2?
Yeah. Are we talking?
I think it was a 2 humper.
Dromedary or we're talking.
Those honestly, man, I do love this. Is a weird thing, but there's those TV shows like Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, and like you just watch them and be like, oh, it must be so nice. This is what it's like for NBA players in the summer when they go on all these elaborate vacations. You're like, you're just like, oh, so he's in Dubai and then the Maldives and like
all these got to Dubai real fast. That was great.
On vacation's like, oh, let's go to Ocean City.
Yeah, exactly. But I also love it's like we're like 3, 2, 1, Cancun, haha, and then we're like cut to Cancun. We're like, man, having an incredible time.
I would love to go to Cancun.
It does. I'd love to tag along one day.
That's the flip side of all of us being like, they don't care about winning, they just care about the money. Then you see what the money gets you, and you're like,
who cares about winning?
It's significant.
Nobody even goes to Cancun anymore. Cancun is too low budget for players nowadays.
That's G League. That's G League.
Yeah, that's like rookie contract.
Yeah, the rookies go to Cancun because they haven't learned yet. Yep.
So the other story from Michael Malone, or one of the other players mentioned, was PJ Dozier, who I think it's hard to walk away from Michael Malone's commentary, about PJ Dozier, like sort of unprompted. He was asked, I don't even remember what the question was, but he went to PJ Dozier and just said, everybody talked about the loss of Barton and Murray, but PJ Dozier really changed things and he's going to be a big player for us. And I just walked away getting the sense that I bet Denver really looks at PJ Dozier as like a pretty big piece of the future. Like last year, he was a nice piece, but only got in some games. This year in the playoffs with everybody healthy, I think he would have been an every game guy, but on low minutes. I almost get the sense that it's a stepping stone. Next year, I think he might just be like a 20, 25 minute per game guy. No questions that, even with everybody healthy.
It could be more, man. I mean, that I was talking about external replacement should Barton decide to leave.
Right.
There's not a lot you can do there financially. It might be the internal expectation that Dozier steps up.
Yeah.
Either something approximate to a starter role or a lot of minutes off the bench.
What do you think, Ray? Is he a good starter?
I mean, personally, I think he can start. And the biggest reason is I think he's our best perimeter defender. And, looking up and down the roster and the backcourt, I don't see that many guys with his length, with his athleticism, with his size. So to have that out there along with Aaron Gordon, along with Michael Porter, I think it'll be really nice.
I get the sense that he's a Malone guy too, don't you, Win?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally. Like the defense, of course, the versatility, the savviness in the pick and roll, and defensively, like Ray was saying, if you're looking for the prototypical guy to play next to Jamal Murray, he's going to be a guy that's around PJ Dozier's height. He's going to be a really good defender, kind of like Gary Harris was. And he's also going to be a guy who can handle the ball a little and let Jamal Murray get off the ball. And PJ Dozier is a natural point guard. That's the position he grew up playing. Now, last year he played all around, the court. He played power forward, he played small forward, shooting guard, some point guard, but he's always been a natural point guard. So I think to get another ball handler next to Jamal Murray, we've seen in the past that really works. Like that really, really works. So I think in a lot of ways, he's tailor-made to play that role. The thing is, he's going to have to rein it in a little, like as we've talked about. He's going to have to step back, like his usage and how aggressive he is, like getting his own offense. But he could be that guy, I think.
Yeah, we saw him like be really successful in stretches this last year. Like what you're talking about. As soon as he sort of figured out like what the appropriate amount of aggressiveness was for him to fit in this offense pretty seamlessly, he was able to do it. And it's funny because we really felt his absence in those playoffs, which is not something that I expected at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I do think there's one thing that makes that really easy, and it's playing with Nikola Jokic. When you get in there with the starters, I think the roles really become a little bit more defined, and you kind of know, okay, I'm not the first option,
right?
The second option, or the third option. I'm the fourth guy.
And 82 games later, that notion is really sort of drilled into your head.
Yeah. Just takes a short 82 games to figure that one out.
What's interesting, though,
in a flash.
What's interesting, though, is that if you look at this Denver starting lineup, I don't think him and Facu, that's the one combination that doesn't work to me, especially if you have Aaron Gordon on the court, which, I mean, he's going to start as well. So Facu, Dozier, Gordon, no way, man, that's not happening. So if Dozier were to be a starter, that probably signals that Monte or some other point guard is going to be the starting point guard. It's almost like Dozier and Facu are just going to be opposite. So one will start and one will come off the bench, and we'll find out which one is which. But Malone raving about PJ Dozier and really seems to have a lot. And then Zeke Nnaji, we heard Tim Conley in his walk through Low-High and what a big deal that was. And I think it was a big deal, like that his name came up as like, hey, this is one of our pivot points next year. And then today, Michael Malone, same thing, talking about Zeke Nnaji and his future. That stood out to me as well, Harrison.
Totally. And I think if you're looking for the guy whose minutes are going to jump the most from last year to this coming season, it's definitely Zeke Nnaji. I can see a world where Zeke Nnaji is the first Nuggets big man off the bench next season. He's the first sub into the game for Aaron Gordon, maybe, or maybe he's subbing into the game for Nikola Jokic at like that 6-minute mark. I really think he can be that guy. We saw it. We saw it last season. His defense for a rookie was so impressive, man. On ball and off ball. Like he is very wise defensively for his age, only spending 1 year in college. And that also makes him a Michael Malone guy as well.
Wise beyond his years, you could say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that had to be the plan when they drafted him, right? Like if they drafted him, and then year two, they're like, "Oh my God, what do we do with this guy?" It's like, why did you? What you just got him a year ago? What, didn't you have any plan for him? So yeah, it's the natural progression of things. I'm ready for it.
What do you think, Ray?
I'm curious what the plan is for him in terms of what I know he's going to play one of the forward spots. Which one? Is he more of a small forward? Is he more of a power forward? I think I would prefer him to play small forward because when I think of, kind of his size and how good defensively he is, I would like him to be more than, as much as I love like Darrell Arthur. He was a great four who was kind of a little bit undersized to be a big, but he had a great shooter and great defender. If he can develop the kind of perimeter ball skills, keep that quickness, even though I hope he gets stronger, obviously, but without, slowing down too much so that he can keep up with guys on the perimeter. I think that would be really nice. That's what my question for him is.
I think that was what Malone talked about, though, today was his work ethic, and that's perimeter ball skills being like the thing that he's really going to focus on. So the sense I get is that they do view him more as it would help us if you were more of a three. than you probably were naturally, right? Like coming in, we thought, is he a 5? Is he like a 4.5? So he'll be part of this. And I do wonder if it's more of a, hey, you kind of have a lot of the Jeremy Grant skill set. You know, you can move your feet out of the perimeter. You're a pretty good knockdown 3-point shooter, but Jeremy Grant added the ball handling to his game that was a little bit locked up in Denver, but maybe the team looks at this now and says, hey, if you can like attack closeouts off of the perimeter comfortably, man, you really play. Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is alongside Gordon, he's probably a 4. Alongside Michael Porter, you know, maybe he's a 3 or it's a little bit different. So maybe some of this is conditional as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, like, you can look to see how Malone used J, Mike, and Dad together. Like, guys that are just sort of that intermediate size can sort of be switched around in Michael Malone's mind, obviously. So I do love the fact that he can be so versatile, and the fact that his jump shot is so goddamn wet and so perfect. Like, it just opens up the floor so much.
I mean, a lot of teams this year, especially teams that did well in the playoffs, had a small ball look, and maybe that was their second unit altogether. But it was certainly a dynamic they had. And I think Denver wanted that, and that's what they went for with J. Mike Millsap, right? I mean, neither of them are necessarily small, but both, you know, definitely more 4s than 5s. So how does Zeke play into that if Denver wants to try to develop that look as well? You know, can he be your big on a smaller bench that helps space the floor?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, if he plays the 3-man, like, that would be a heck of a development path, because this guy's been a center his whole career. Like high school, college, he probably dribbled the ball a total of like 20 times last year. And like going from that to playing the 3, like that would be a heck of a turn. But Malone called him today one of the hardest workers on the team.
Right.
So
that's the key.
He's putting in the hours. Yeah.
And you talked about his wisdom, and it's a funny word, but it kind of is true, because one of the things about hard work is the smart work is the important part. You have to work hard and smart. And I think Zeke Nnaji is one of those guys that is easy. I'm projecting a little bit, but even just in the conversations from his personality type, I think like he is a guy that, you know, hey, this is what we want you to work on. Okay, cool. I'm going to work on those things and understand the context for which they're going to translate. I don't think he's going to be working on his like 7-part crossover step by side step, you know, like you see so many players working on in the offseason. I think he will have a productive one. Real quickly before we wrap up this one, Suns Clippers game 3 last night, and the Clippers strike back. These have been good games, every single one of them. This last one, the Clippers, as they have been known to do, go down 0-2, and all of a sudden they turn it on and they look like the better team. And here's my big takeaway from last night. The Suns are a ball movement team that have all of these guys that can get into the paint, and then you kick it out, and they're smart. They are a wise team. Last night, they got that a little bit in the first half, but the Clippers did a great job of walling off, and Cam Payne got hurt, who's one of their good slashers and drivers, and they devolved, guys. The Suns devolved. They lost their connection. They lost their teamwork. They became a Chris Paul dribble the ball out of the air team. And I'm not trying to put this all on Chris Paul, because like Devin Booker missed shots last night. Some guys just miss shots, you know, that I think they can make. But when push came to shove, the thing that was interesting about that game to me is the Suns have been the most connected team in the playoffs, and it's like they share one brain. And when they started losing control of the rope, it just became the Chris Paul show. Did not work,
I mean,
by the way.
they were close several times in the second half, and I think some really sloppy or lack of execution. Like a lot of dumb shots and turnovers. And to your point, it did in the fourth turn into Chris Paul chucking. Chris Paul certainly looked like a cog in a very healthy, team-oriented offense just the last round. So I'll maybe hold off a bit. But
no. But you have to understand what I'm saying here. It's not that Chris Paul is or is not a certain thing. It's that a team playing with belief is so powerful. And like we see this all the time. A team gets hot and they play with belief. But the Suns were not punched in the mouth against the Nuggets ever. Like they just never faced adversity.
Not once.
And even in the first 2 games, they're up for a majority of the game. They were close games, but they were up. They were in control. This was the first time where they kind of got hit. Their response to being hit was to do something that was even more detrimental to themselves. That's my only point.
Fair enough. That's a good point.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like they are really like one of the most remarkable plays I've ever seen in my entire life from being down 2-1 in this series.
Right. That's so true. That's a great point.
Like I put this on Twitter, but like if I'm a Valley guy, like I'm a little nervous right now. I mean, there have been, I mean, they should have lost 2 games, and the most recent game showed a complete swing in control of the game. Like they made some switches, some defensive switches, bringing Pat Pev up, and it really paid dividends. Like we'll have to see. I mean, obviously Monty Williams is like one of the best coaches we've seen in playoff battles in some time. So I'll be interested to see what his adjustment is. But I'll be a little nervous over there in Sun Valley.
Can I tell you what it reminds me of? This series, though, what you just said, kind of reminds me of Avs Knights. Right?
Yeah, came out.
Win the first game, no question. Second game, kind of got a little lucky. And then third game, you lose, and you're like, well, we're still in control. It's like, no, the other team actually is outplaying you, and the sooner you realize, the better.
Harrison just has this look like he's about to learn us something, though. I'm like, what, did you have a take lined up? Did I just put you on the spot?
No, my only take was like Chris Paul looked terrible last night. Like he looked invincible, obviously against the Nuggets, and then he didn't play the first two games, but he went by my count like 30 of 30 from the right elbow against the Nuggets. That's not confirmed.
That's actually right, yeah.
But that's what it seemed like to me at least.
It's true.
And the guy couldn't hit a shot last night, so he was probably a little rusty from sitting those first two games. But I mean, he looked terrible. He was terrible.
Also, Devin Booker, who I have a ton of respect for during this playoff run, the latest reminder: the best guy in the playoffs, the best player in the world, is always just the last guy to drop 40 in the playoffs the next day.
So true.
And since then, Booker has looked like a star playing in his first playoff. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he won't get back to that spot. It's just more about the discourse around him than him.
So annoying.
What do you think, Ray?
It's possible that some of that pressure, is coming off of Devin Booker and then being placed on Chris's shoulders. And, in speaking of that sort of momentum shift, my other question is, can you get Kawhi back at any point in this series?
I don't know, dude.
Is he potentially even coming back? Like they've been so really quiet about it.
Is it the ACL or a sprain? Did we ever get a confirmation?
We never got anything.
There's nothing.
It's an ACL injury. It's an ACL injury.
This is the Kawhi of injuries. It's like shrouded mystery, no straight answers. We don't know what's going on. We'll have to ask. His uncle will drop a hint at some point.
I don't think he's coming back.
His uncle on Twitter.
Is my read. My read is I don't think he's coming back.
Why don't we take a break and then we'll come back and we're going to have the interview with Harrison Wynn and TJ McBride. We're also going to do a little online with D-Line, all on the other side. Ray, we're going to send you on your way. Though. We appreciate you on the chat.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Unbelievable. I have to go to the chat so I can hang out with Ray more.
Yeah, get out of here, man. You guys, make sure to stop into Solace Meds this weekend. They've got a bunch of locations, 4 of them in Colorado, including 1 blocks away from the DNVR bar. On East Colfax, they've also got one in Fort Collins, 1 in Wheat Ridge, 1 off of Broadway as well. They've got tons and tons of deals going on this month. But their best deal, the one you should definitely use, is dropping code DNVR20 when you're checking out at the register. You've got all your stuff. Just drop the code DNVR20. You will receive 20% off your purchase. And if you're at that Wheat Ridge location, you're also going to get a free Solace Bar or King Cone with your purchase as well. They've got tons of other deals too. 15% off all Gold Shelf concentrates, 20% off all walnut tinctures and tarts. Tons and tons of other deals as well. But make sure to drop the code DNVR20 when you go into Solace Meds to receive 20% off your purchase. And also stop into Green Mountain Dental Group if you're looking for a dentist to go to. Get a free Sonicare toothbrush from Green Mountain Dental Group when you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. They're located 15 minutes from downtown Denver. They're great people. They're great at what they do. They care about you as a customer. You can get a free Sonicare toothbrush, top of the line electric toothbrush from Green Mountain Dental Group when you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. And finally on this break, got to hit the DraftKings pick of the week. And I'm pissed off at you, Adam, because you hinted at the DraftKings pick of the week. You didn't just hint at it. You exposed the DraftKings pick of the week at the top of the show.
All right, it's still fresh. You can still go for it.
Yeah. But DraftKings has a boost. They're boosting Milwaukee to win Game 2 tonight to plus 100. I think Milwaukee's winning tonight. I mean, they probably should have won Game 1. But you can get that at plus money, which is crazy because they're an 8.5-point favorite tonight, so a big favorite. You can get that at plus 100 on the DraftKings app. So that's my DraftKings pick of the week. Milwaukee to win in game 2.
Milwaukee. This my favorite part about Milwaukee being a good basketball team is that you get to hear Bill Simmons say Milwaukee over and over.
Yeah,
that was the best thing about Milwaukee. Milwaukee.
I liked it, but I'm taking it right now for the max wager of
What?
$25,000. $25,000. That's what I'm putting on it right now.
Unbelievable, man.
All righty, Allie, super producer Allie. I believe we've got a little wind on one action. I have not seen this interview. I'm
Wind
excited.
on one.
Do I want to set this interview up at all, or are we just going into
You
it?
tell us, brother.
Yeah, man, this is your world.
This is wind on one.
We're just living in it.
So yeah, every week I'm interviewing somebody about something. So on the subject of Will Barton, it's a pressing issue for the Nuggets this offseason. He's got the player option. So I chatted with TJ McBride about, what he might do. Would he take a hometown discount for Denver? Maybe. We talk about it. What does he want? His next contract? We talk about it. So
Sweet.
Yeah, it was a cool interview. All right, I'm joined now by TJ McBride, and I thought TJ would be good to bring on for this segment because, he covered the team. He's been around the team for a lot of Will Barton's run in Denver since really the start of the Jokic era. And, of course, one of the Nuggets' big roster decisions this offseason has to do with Will Barton. He's got a $14.6 million player option for next season. He's obviously been a fixture, like I said, throughout the Jokic era. So I thought TJ would be a good guy to discuss what's next for Will Barton. First off, how are you, man? Good to see you.
It's really hot outside, but other than that, I'm doing okay. It's definitely been scorching across this country recently, and I'm ready for some cooler temperatures.
Yes. You know how everybody says, like, oh, we got to save water because we're always in a drought?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, we've been in a drought for like the last 10 years. Like,
yeah,
we are definitely back in the drought if we ever got out of it.
I moved here like 13 years ago, and basically since I've lived here, that is what I have been hearing from people.
Yeah,
but,
it's just a constant.
It's never ending here.
It's a constant, and it's not changing anytime soon. Okay, first up, here's my first question for you. What do you think Will Barton wants for the next chapter of his career? Because he had a very interesting quote, I thought, after the Nuggets Game 4 loss to the Suns. It pretty much served as his exit interview. He was kind of asked what he's looking for, and he said, quote, just to be appreciated, being in a winning environment, a chance to win, just to be myself and to play my game. If you kind of had to decode that, what do you think he's looking for this next chapter of his career?
I think Will Barton is kind of dealing with an NBA morality right now and kind of coming to terms with what that means for him, because he continually keeps ending up injured for whatever circumstance that may be when he's leading up to the most important points of his career in the playoffs. So I think he's kind of having a mentality shift where he's realizing that maybe what he's always focused on is not necessarily what he's looking for anymore. And he's looking for more a self-satisfaction, something he can hang his hat on, a legacy he's proud of in Denver or without it. And that is going to be very interesting because it has not always been the case with Will. I do think now when he talks in that tone and in that manner, he wants somewhere he can start. I think that's the basis of a starting point for what he wants. Whether or not that means a winning team is still up for debate because, again, he's kind of shifted in this regard. And I think beyond that, I think when it comes to being appreciated, I think that is going to be very reflective of how he has been in Denver and how appreciated he has been. I don't think that's I want to leave because I don't feel appreciated. I think he realizes how rare it is that a front office would actually care so much about the individual to keep them around, even if it might not be the most financially best situation, or if there were draft picks out there that maybe would give them more flexibility going forward or whatever has been on the table. So it's going to be very interesting to see which way he looks. I don't think anyone fully knows right now, but it seems like he's starting to contend with a different basketball morality than he has dealt with before.
Yeah. I think that's interesting. I think you're definitely on the right track there. Starting, I agree, is a huge thing with him. We know that. And I think, if he was to go to another team, if he was to return to the Nuggets, he would definitely be in a starting position. That seems like it would be an option in Denver next season, at least. Being in a winning environment, I definitely agree. I think that's important to him. And yeah, just to be myself, to play my game, I think that kind of involves everything. It's interesting because I feel like he can do that in Denver. He can start in Denver. He can kind of play his game in Denver, especially because Jamal Murray is going to be injured for some of next season, and the Nuggets are just going to need a lot from Will Barton. So I feel like that kind of improves the Nuggets sales pitch in a way. But the just to be appreciated part is interesting because I definitely feel like at times Will hasn't felt like he's been appreciated by like the Nuggets at times for what he's done and just the blood, sweat, and tears that he's put into the organization. And then also by, the fan base at times. And I definitely think he's been cognizant of that. So it's interesting. I think what he really wants more than anything is a long-term contract, though. Like, I think he's at the point of his career, and you mentioned the injuries, where he's got to be thinking long-term. Yeah, his player option is a lot of money, $14.6 million. It's a good amount of money for next season, but if he could get a 4-year deal, I've got to think that is at the top of the priority list in what he wants.
And that becomes fascinating because is he willing to take less per year? Because Denver is going to want their flexibility. Their cap sheet is going to become brutal very, very, very quickly. So that ability to at least have someone, like, would he be willing to take something slightly above the mid-level if it is a 4-year contract? That is a big fall on a yearly value for him, but Denver might have to negotiate in that term. And that I have no idea how Will Barton would approach that because he has been a guy that values himself and he goes out there and looks for that value because he does feel that he has provided something at a certain level. So if Will Barton has kind of come to terms with the fact that maybe he's not going to get everything he wants at this point based on how things have gone, maybe he would be willing to do a less per year, a $12 million per year, and get a 4-year deal as opposed to getting that bigger contract to have that stability. I'm not sure where he's going to fall, but that's going to be I think that's the point where all the leverage exists is Will Barton willing to sacrifice the per year to give Denver the flexibility for a long-term deal?
Yeah, I think in the end, he might be willing to take a little bit of a hometown discount. I feel pretty confident in that if the number is around right, he would be, willing to take that hometown discount. How much is he willing to, discount the Nuggets for? I don't know. That might be what it comes down to in the end. How important do you think it is for the Nuggets to bring him back next season? I just mentioned that, Jamal Murray is going to miss some time. We don't know exactly how much. I feel like the Nuggets need Will Barton a little bit more now that this Murray injury is a thing than they would have needed him if Jamal Murray was going to start the season on opening night in the Nuggets lineup. How important do you think it is for the Nuggets to bring Will Barton back?
I think it's massively important right now. And especially when you look back at the playoffs and the difference in having Barton and not having Barton. Even though he still wasn't anywhere near 100%, he was able to give them a different variation of an offense they just didn't have, which is I can get downhill, I can shoot, and I'm a 3-level scorer. Just being able to be that kind of a threat, it opened everything back up. And another big part of this for me is if Jamal Murray is not here or not able to play for a while next year, Will Barton is the only long-term Jokic chemistry type of guard and somebody who knows how to play with him at any given moment. That also immediately percolated for the Nuggets when he hit the court in the playoffs was that chemistry was on full display again. Austin Rivers did not have that chemistry. Facu does not have that chemistry. Even PJ Dozier does not have that level of chemistry. So I think those two things are really important. And also, they need size in the backcourt, and he's 6'4" and long. Like that alone gives them another advantage that they just didn't have in the playoffs when he was hurt. So I think it's massively important. I think that keeping him around, especially considering where they are at financially, is really important because you can't find a replacement for a good value outside anyway. So I think it's incredibly important to bring him back.
The Jokic dynamic is so interesting because he does have a great chemistry with Nikola Jokic. He has been around him forever. Like they're Kobe and Shaq. Like those two are guys. Like those two are so tight. Do you think, we know that Tim Connelly said he consulted Nikola Jokic on the Aaron Gordon trade. Do you think Tim Connelly makes a phone call to Serbia and gets Nikola Jokic's opinion on how necessary it is to bring Will Barton back? Because I've got to think if he asked Nikola that, he's going to give his 2 thumb up endorsement to bring Will back.
I agree with that, and I think it's really important Tim does, because this is the longest tenured player on the roster. I mean, we're getting to the point now where the roster turnover is starting to get pretty stark, and Nikola Jokic is a guy that is more comfortable around familiarity and things that he's comfortable with. All that shifting is not necessarily what you want to do to a star player who's not looking for things to change dramatically. So I think that's a big deal as well, of just keeping someone who Nikola Jokic is comfortable with. So I think that you have to call him. I think it's absolutely required to call Nikola in Serbia. If Nikola said, Tim, you are allowed to call me in Serbia, which I could totally see Nikola being like, listen, man, I don't want to talk. Just go over there, figure out what you got to do, and we'll talk when the season kicks back up. But
right, it's a little different when he's like in Denver during the season and like with the team to consult him than it is to try to phone Sombor in the middle of June when Nikola is so disconnected from what's going on over here.
Yes, and I don't want to be the guy to convince him to get off of his horses to come talk about the Nuggets during the offseason after 2 straight years of hoops. So, at the same time, though, I do think Jokic would want Barton back as well. You know, anecdotally, and from what we've picked up around the locker room, it seems like that's an important relationship to him as well. It's someone who always knows where Nikola Jokic's confidence lies, where ways to get him going, and always in his ear to get going when Denver needs him to. I think it's an important guy to keep around for that reason too.
Yeah, I agree. Last question I've got here. What do we think a fair contract looks like for Will Barton? He was making on average around $13.5 million per year under this last deal. He made $13.7 million this last season. His player options for 14.6, 14.7. I feel like his next contract would be up from that because just the cap's going up and whatnot. Do you have any ballpark on what you think he would be worth?
I think Denver would enter the negotiations hoping for a 3-year deal and probably around $45 million. It's a step above from where he is, not a lot, but you get the, increasing pay that you get for each season as they have it. And he gets the 3 years that allows Denver flexibility, but also doesn't stretch them so far down the line that they can't make deeper decisions if they need to. So I think that's where Denver starts. But like we talked about before, I do think Will Barton is going to want a 4-year deal, and he's going to want to find a way to do that, and it's going to come down to how much is Barton willing to sacrifice to be able to make it work on a 4-year deal to where Denver is still comfortable with the flexibility they have going forward. A little over the mid-level around a 4-year deal, maybe $10 million, $12 million a year at that point might be something to look at. A 448, a 440 maybe ends up looking like the deal at a 4-year deal. But again, it's going to be so important about how Will Barton values himself and how far Denver is willing to go to match that.
Yeah, I wonder if it could be a little higher, like 4 for 60, where he's making around $15 million a year. I feel like that's more around what he has in mind. Yeah, but look, there's not a ton of teams with a lot of cap space this offseason. You pretty much know who they are. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I think I agree with pretty much everything you said. Like, it's important for him to bring him back. I think the Nuggets want him back on the right number. Nikola Jokic would want him back, but we'll see. He's kind of entering another chapter of his career, so it should be interesting to see what happens here.
I can't wait. Nuggets are going to be fascinating next year.
All right, thanks, TJ.
Always a pleasure, man.
Well, good stuff, Harrison. Good combo. What was that, Eric?
One on wind, dude. Or wind on one.
Wind on one. Wind on one.
The only thing I'll add to that is this week, all the teams in the NBA are pretty much in Chicago for the NBA Combine and whatnot. And it's where a lot of business gets done. Like, to be honest, it's where a lot of teams talk with one another. It's where a lot of agents talk with teams. I was told that the Nuggets are meeting with Will Barton's reps in Chicago this week. So there could be some clarity, pretty soon on Barton's end, at least, about what the Nuggets might be offering.
I like this guy's idea for the segment.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe next week if you can't get anyone.
Hey, man, that might be a good one. I actually would watch that for sure. I think
Are you wearing a Pepsi shirt?
Yeah, I changed during that. I don't know if you guys noticed. I got sweaty. I got really sweaty in that old shirt. So.
Oh my!
You know what?
Goodness.
I'm gonna go changed again.
What is going on? Did you guys hear that? That was a cue, Allie. That was a super That was
It went on for like 2 seconds. I was getting it up. The cue was like a second long.
You gotta be quick. You gotta be so
Where's
quick.
Kale? Just kidding.
It's online with D-Line, everybody.
Oh my
God.
Honestly, what distracted me was a joke that Brendan wants me to put on here, so blame him.
Okay.
Not a good joke either.
Damn it, Allie. Or RB, vote. Damn it.
Well, so wait, do we have to wait
That's
for
such a
your
cool
this
shit,
joke,
though.
or are we?
Yeah, yeah, you go
where
first.
Are we right
You
now?
go first.
Okay, cool. Guys, how we feeling? We're back, dude.
Jesus.
Terrible.
We are back.
Feeling
I
terrible.
hate this.
What have
so
you guys been
iced coffee.
doing with some of your time ever since the season ended?
Hanging out.
I've been
offline.
hanging out online. I've been online
Yeah,
a lot.
I regret
been
to
offline.
inform you, Eric.
Yeah.
I have been online.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of my time online these days as well, and I'd like to share with you some of the things I've found online. Let's go right now. Allie, if you could please share the screen. So, Gus Yalden, are you familiar with him? Is this a name you've heard
Baby
of?
Jokic, yeah,
Yes,
Baby
yes.
Jokic.
Baby Jokic. So, I was a little
Turn that volume off.
Yeah, I was a little unsure what to think. Starts off, hits it. Okay, all right. He's just like a big guy.
I know.
Jamal Murray, blue arrow. But as we go, look at this pass.
All right, that's not bad. Not
All right,
bad.
okay,
It's all right.
look at this.
Okay, a little steal. Oh, behind
Okay.
the back.
Cookie
All
Monster.
right.
Okay, watch
No
this.
doubt.
Doesn't
I like
doesn't
this.
dunk it perfect.
Takes a charge.
Oh,
And
good
Chet-
That's on
Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren, the number one player in the nation.
Wow. Very Jokic-like.
Watch this. Little baby hook.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby. Okay.
Dude,
Everybody's
look at
Jokic.
this.
Oh, there it is. There's the outlet.
You know what?
Dude.
I give this guy 8.5 Jokic's on a scale
This is
of
an
1 to 10.
8.5 Jokic.
Yeah,
On a scale of
I'm
1
not,
to
he's not a
Jokic.
full Jokic, but he's 8.5. He has some room to grow. I don't see any truly fancy passes just yet.
This is one of the top signs Jokic just made it, man.
That was nice.
Guys are getting compared to him erroneously.
This is what
It's
I don't
so
think this
true,
is erroneous.
man.
I don't think this is erroneous. But my question to you is does this speak to that what we were talking about, that Jokic is becoming an archetype?
He is. No, this is 100% a truth. Like, absolutely. That's why I'm not upset about the comparison or this or that, because, yeah, it's an archetype. That's exactly what it is. He's not – who else would you compare him to? He's not like Pau Gasol. He's clearly a Jokic archetype, or trying to be.
Look at that.
Also,
Jokic.
that's
the
pretty.
scoop.
That's pretty.
Talk to me. Talk
Yeah.
to me.
You know what, though? It really is just that he's white and a little overweight. That's
Little
really
bit,
that's really
probably,
what it was.
A lot of people have said I'm the Jokic of this show for, I think, probably the same reasons.
Saying exactly what it is.
Taco Bell.
What else is going on online these days, guys? Let's find out. So, even though Ray ruined it earlier,
look
AG
at
and
this.
Barton have been spending some time together in a far-off land. A
These are
far-off
the
land
two
I've
coolest
come to
dudes on
learn is
earth.
Dubai. Yeah.
So, Eric, I got to shout out a friend of the bar, friend of us on Twitter, at Pizza on Your Face.
Yes.
She I think she nailed it. She said they're out there shooting a music video together. What a guess.
Wow.
What a money guess, dude.
Oh, wait,
That
they
actually,
really, they are?
no, that's her guess for what.
I see. Sounds
But
like-
it's
I
really
thought that was
smart.
a joke.
She's
There's
got
no-
my-
I really hope not.
Dude,
Man.
I
that's
really
odds on
hope not.
favorite.
It would really make it less cool.
Do you think that Aaron Gordon also just wants the bag and y'all can hang the banners, or is it just a Barton thing?
Ugh.
I don't
Hopefully
know.
he wants
I do
to.
have an
I'm
up-
sad now.
I do have an update from the chat. Adam is Jokic, Eric. Adam is Jokic. Good point. I strongly agree, Joey Moya.
Well, my joke was that I'm white and overweight, but I'm happy that Adam has stolen that
I want
away.
to claim that. Step right up.
That actually feels great. Thank you. So, guys, what else is going on online these days? Let's find out. So, you know how I always rail against old guys getting in great shape? Is this the grossest
skit
photo?
bit? Oh, it's
Is
so
this the
gross.
grossest photo you've ever seen
Oh,
in your entire life?
Gross.
Like, if you're a Clippers fan, aren't you just now immediately not a Clippers fan after seeing this photo? This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire
Clippers
life. I'm
fan
sorry,
base doubled in size after this photo, from
dude.
1 to 2.
There's really not much to talk about this other than this thing chilled my core and I couldn't only look at this all myself.
Dude,
So
old guys who are like ripped freak me out.
freak me out, dude.
Sorry if any of you out there are old guys and super in shape, but
Yeah, it's super
Steve
gross.
Hess. Is Steve Hess out the club? Come on.
No. Steve Hess has lived a life of fitness, but if just like a casual gentleman that gets in unusually good shape and then wants to show everybody, out the club, dude.
Wait, you just put him in the club.
Mm-mm.
No, that's out the
No, that
club.
was out the club, Adam.
Oh,
We know
that's
it's your
right.
first
Yeah,
time
you're
on the
locked.
internet.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
You're just trying to be mean to me today.
That's
Come
right.
on, I got it right.
So sometimes online takes us to faraway places like Instagram. And on Instagram, we see our beloved Jamaica Green has a post that says,
He is our beloved.
next year, the gang coming back stronger with an
Let's go, baby.
with an ape emoji. Let's go. And then look who chimes in. Facu Campazzo. Tough guy. And then Big Game Tay didn't have enough room for all of his locks on one post. He had to use two.
He had to do a second lock. I love it, man.
I
I like to envision Monte Morris's keyboard is just only the lock emoji. It's the only thing available on his keyboard.
I do love that he did it twice. He's like, you know what? Nope, 4 more locks. Let's do this, baby.
As
I
far as
also
I
love
know.
Facu trying to get in on the Instagram NBA
Was Paul Millsap
banter.
on there?
Hey, a tough guy.
Tough guy.
Tough guy. He's Italian.
He's Italian.
You can call me tough guy. He played
Oh,
in Italy,
God.
so that counts. Like he picked up on some of the affect. He's like Madonna that way. Guys,
J. Mike
what
is
else?
back.
He's
back,
so back,
baby.
dude.
He's
He's so back, and not
He's
only that,
back.
Do
the
you guys see the Serbian like Malone? Look at this because I'm so pissed. I'm gonna have to have Kale Nick on Monday. We're kicking off on the. But I can't read Serbian, but I'm pretty sure I am being mentioned. I'm pretty sure. Why is it that?
This is something with Ali. Is it say Ali?
Yeah.
And mine something about us too.
All right, going to translate. Let's find out these assholes.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
kind of scared of what this is going to
It's
translate.
gonna be
This is-
so terrible. I got it right here. It says.
guys.
No, it actually says, but this is Maresh, not Marash.
Well,
What
that's
is happening?
your name.
So can we just call it? Did Michael Green just confirm he's picking up that option? Is like that? Is that what happened?
I think
or-
I think everybody knows that the ape emoji is the clear-cut sign that you're going to resign with Bill Team.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
I
Guys,
got
what
to
else
check
going
my
on in
feed.
line these days? There's a video that's come in from a faraway land. I'm not sure where, but of a simple stable boy.
Oh, slow motion.
Look at this.
Yeah.
What does this man do for a living? If you were to see this video just right off the street, which one would you pick was the MVP of the NBA?
Yeah, that man is doing precisely what he was born to do right here.
Yeah.
With his like, there's like, look at his goofy off-center hat. Just everything. I don't know.
His pacing.
I can't wrap my head around the fact
What does this guy's shirt say? Joker and something?
where
Joker
we got
Stuff with
Stala.
Probably.
Oh, the
Probably
Dreamcatcher
horses.
stable.
Yeah, Dreamcatcher for
Which-
the other
Joker
and then
Dreamcatcher.
and
Holy
Dreamcatcher.
smokes!
Very
Love it.
creative. Very
The
creative.
top human.
He's the top human, guys. Guys, one more thing I want to get into. I don't know how you feel about this. Let's watch a short segment from I think all of our favorite show, First Take, talking about their feelings.
Are we gonna get copyrighted?
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe because it's on Twitter. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, let's not look at that at
bringing
all.
up,
Then.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, we'll do it live. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I remember this clip.
Basically, the clip goes on. The clip is that the hosts of our beloved First Take are talking about how terrible it is that they don't get to travel to glamour cities and how that's going to ruin the NBA Finals for them because that's really the most important thing. And then you start to sort of understand the psychology of the people that are in charge of creating the narratives for everybody to ingest for the NBA. And it all comes down to them just wanting to go to luxurious cities to travel. So they essentially call Milwaukee a terrible city that nobody should want to go to. And so then the Milwaukee Bucks come in with a response saying, what the hell, dude? Like, when was the last time you've been to Milwaukee? Like, why don't you actually come so you can understand what it is you're talking about? This is like watching
It's not funny to
somebody
me.
else, another city go through like what we feel like
No.
we go through. Like I've put myself in a position, or I found myself in a position more than once where I have to explain the concept of East Coast bias to people that are like not from here. This is what it is, man. Like it's just like the entire idea of your city is just reduced down to a bad travel location, so nobody wants.
I'm telling you, man. Like this is why I say it's hard for me to separate the feelings and this coastal bias from like actual hatred of the people and cities that they are talking about. Like
Yes.
the commentary is not we don't want to cover the Suns or the Bucks or whatever. It's like we don't want to talk to those people, go to that city, eat at their restaurant, do all this, and it's like, dude, F you. That goes beyond just the sports bias to actual like hatred of the inner parts of the country. It's like really bothersome to me. Really bothersome.
It really bothers me too.
Honest to God, it's like I am so glad I moved to Colorado for this reason, to give me perspective. I was born outside of New York and I moved to LA. Like, believe me, guys, I've flown over plenty of times, and I've done it with people who don't think these states are worth dropping by. And it's like, it's honestly changed my entire perspective on NBA media, but also just this general sort of media bias that gets to dictate the narrative of what it's like to live places from people that have never lived there.
And we're like the exact same. This is the thing that's so dumb about it, is like there are little differences between people that live in New York and LA and Colorado, but it's like not that different. Like, come on, people, man.
We all love the Olive Garden. We all love Cheesecake Factory. We all love Chili's. What is the problem, people? We're all the same.
We all hate online with D-Line.
We all hate online with D-Line. One last one, if I may. This is from comedian Paul Scheer that encapsulates my own feelings in a more succinct way than I ever could put it myself. Here he shares on his TikTok via Twitter. Okay, hold on here. Let me get the volume going.
For the rest of my fucking life. I want to hear Suns and 4 for the rest of my fucking life.
I never want to hear Suns and 4 for the rest of my fucking life, he says. And I couldn't agree more. Paul Scheer, you're my hero. You're all of our hero. That was Online with D-Line. God bless.
Paul Scheer is a very not surprising Clippers fan.
He's super online. He's like on NBA. He posts on NBA Twitter. Yeah.
That's
He's
hilarious.
the honest linist, dude.
All right, let's take our quick last break because we're running long here, guys, and Ali has a very busy day. But let's take it, and on the other side, we've got Lycos, who is going to try to climb the steps. Lycos, get yourself ready. You get yourself ready here as wind races through the ad reads.
I will try. Right now at DraftKings Sportsbook, they've still got an awesome deal going on. If you're trying to sign up, if you haven't placed a bet before, pick any basketball team that is still in contention. There are 4 of them. Pick any basketball team that's still in contention. Bet $1, and if that team wins, you win $100 in site credits. As easy as that. You can bet tonight. Bet on the Bucks or the Hawks to win. I would suggest the Bucks. If that team wins, you bet $1, you get $100 back in site credits on DraftKings Sportsbook. They got tons of other odds boosts going on as well, tons of other promotions every single week. So make sure to download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win their next game. If they do, you'll claim $100 in free credits. It's promo code DNVR for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Also, guys, at Hassel Cattle Company right now, they've got an awesome deal going on exclusively for DNVR listeners. You can buy 3, get 1 free on their super delicious flank steaks. They're lean. They're flavorful. The marbling is awesome. Buy 3 of them. They're only $9.99 a piece as well. Get 1 free. You can use code DNVRFlank at checkout to get that offer, that buy 3, get 1 free offer. Use the code DNVRFlank at HassleCattleCompany.com to buy 3, get 1 free on those flank steaks. Of course, you can always use the code DNVR10 for 10% off your Hassel Cattle Company purchase as well. And finally, make sure to check out Illegal Pete's this weekend. If you're looking for a burrito, if you're looking for some nachos, a quesadilla, Illegal Pete's is a great option. They've got 6 locations all across Colorado. They've got one blocks from the DNVR bar. They've got one on Broadway. They've got one on Blake and 16th as well. Tons of great deals going on. They've got happy hour at all locations from 3 to 6 p.m. every single day. $1 off drafts, $1 off house and coin style margs, $20 party margs, $1 off
party
margs
margs
and queso.
Yo, let's get some party margs after this show, guys. Who's down?
You want to meet up for some party margs?
I really do, actually.
Yeah, they're only $20. Hit up Illegal Pete's today. They got all those deals going on. If you're stopping into the DNVR bar, they got a location blocks away on East Colfax.
Can I share screen real quick, just for really, really quickly, because the guys keep telling me use translate so you can read the chat. So I tried. Mares itches.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah, right.
Only.
Mares itches. Like, all right, we got them caught up, guys.
That's amazing.
What was it? Was it the Giannis tweet? Giannis is perverted. What was that translation?
No, it's Jokic. It's Jokic.
Jokic,
It's a
that's right,
pervert,
yeah.
which means
Jokic is a pervert. Which means
guys, we are bringing back. We got to race through this because Ali's got to get. But we have a guest in the chat. Everybody, welcome in Lycos.
I'm so nervous right now. Lycos.
Have a nice little Friday beer. A little cheers. Where are you, Lycos? Where are you calling in from? Oh my God, the top human, a life-size portrait. Wow.
My wife saw your podcast while I was watching, and she got it for my birthday on Monday, so it's all good.
Nice. Nice. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Do you hear me? Sorry.
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm from Belgrade, Serbia, so yeah, I'm homeboy of Jokic.
That just makes you a resident of Earth. We're all Jokic's homeboy.
That's true. We're coming to Belgrade. We don't know when, but soon we are coming. I expect you will have a big party for us upon our arrival.
Well, hopefully, my wife is pregnant and she's giving birth in about a month. So,
you want us to come to the birth?
Yeah,
We'd
be honored.
We can make it.
Exactly.
We could do a show.
Yeah, Dab's coming too. So all 5 of us in the delivery.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I need to get like about 100 shirts because it's customary when a Serbian guy gets a baby to rip his shirt off. So I will go to secondhand. Yeah.
That's an amazing tradition that we
break
need
glass
to
over face. It's tradition. We just incredible.
That's a normal weekend in Serbia. Don't get me started.
All right, last question before we get to the steps. But if you were to name your child Eric, Vogt, Wind, or Adam, what would you choose? You had to.
My name is Brendan. I do want
to. My first name's Harrison. That's my given name.
This is a big one, guys. This is a big one.
The closest one we got here is, we also have Adam because it's a biblical name.
That's right.
All of the other names are Anglo-Saxon, I guess, so they're not really customary here.
That's right. Yeah.
Most my name is definitely not customary anywhere.
This sucks.
I itch.
Sorry, guys.
According to the translate. Are you ready to take on the steps? Do you know how the steps works, Lycos? Were you around last year?
No. Wolf told me, short summary that it's like just basic Nuggets questions.
Trivia. Well, I wouldn't call it basic. I wouldn't call it basic. Ali, why don't we go ahead and hit question number 1, and we're going to start that old music. How is the music level? If it's too loud, let me know, guys, because I can't hear the feedback.
It sounds good.
It's good.
Question number 1.
I feel anxious immediately. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Ali, if there's a way to hide the chat, because Lycos, he can't. There's some way you can do that. I can't remember how it is. All right, question number 1, Lycos. Who won the 2021 NBA MVP?
Wow.
Oh, that's really, I don't know, Nikola Jokic?
Yeah, that's correct.
A little hasty, a little quick, but yeah.
Make sure you save this for your young newborn, so you can show them how well you did early.
They do get harder. Each question gets a little bit harder. Okay, number 2. Who did the Denver Nuggets defeat in the first round of the 2021 NBA playoffs?
Portland.
That is correct.
Wow.
This guy watches the Nuggets, baby.
Dude,
this guy's
incredible.
I have the NBA pass, so I'm good.
Number 3. How many games did Nikola Jokic play in the 2021 regular season?
Serbs don't see it all 72.
There it is.
Serbs don't sit.
Serbs don't sit. It is
That's
funny.
Amazing.
I thought that one might trip somebody up and they think 82, but no, of course it's 72.
Don't get me started on that, but...
Okay.
Sensitive subject. Are you ironic? Are you sitting right now?
Yeah.
Ironically, you're right.
Verb zones work.
Wow.
They do sit. Apparently, it's that's hilarious. Number 4. Which DNVR sponsor provides Wagyu beef delivered straight to your door? He might trip up on this one.
Wait. Hassel Kyle Company.
Yes! Yes! 4 for 4. All right, this one. If you get this one, you get a free sticker pack. The shipping on this sticker pack.
I know this
costs a
is
lot.
actually Brandon does not want you to get this right. This is,
He really does not want you to- All right, number 5. What 2 players did the Nuggets trade to the Magic for Aaron Gordon?
Wait a minute. Okay. My brain froze.
Oh no!
He's feeling
little
pressure.
guy, yeah. It's not PJ. It's the other one.
Close.
The other one.
Oh, I get what he's
Yeah.
saying. I get what he's saying.
It's not P. Yeah. JP. No.
He knows too.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, but
JP.
I'm just. Can I get a pass on this?
For a sticker pack, you out of your goddamn mind
No
like
way.
us?
Man, this is great. He's gonna fall on number 5.
Oh my god, dude!
Dude,
Tumbling
wait a
down the
minute.
steps.
We might have to
Wait,
give
wait
a.
minute.
Wait, is
He's
he
so
help?
close. He knows it.
But my brain just froze at the moment. That's a problem.
All right, Lycos, we need a.
Gary Harris.
That's
Gary
correct.
Harris. And God damn it.
My favorite part of the steps is everyone being like, "This is too easy," until like, boom, immediately.
It's not easy, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Do you have a guess? You got 5 seconds.
I'm gonna give him a hint, but no.
Right when the music stops, we gotta have a guess.
God damn. RJ.
Out of there! He's out of there!
So close.
He got it.
He said RJ.
He said RJ Harris.
Oh.
I think what he said. What do we think,
He's
judges?
out of there. I think he's out of there, guys.
I feel like you
Because
put it in mid-answer.
the music stopped. The music stopped. There was
Oh, you are bad.
Lycos. First of all, he was fantastic. He was a fantastic.
Lycos, what did you say?
RJ Harris because my man
Get
mind
him out of
blank.
here.
Oh no! We'll send you half.
Alex, get him out of there.
We'll send you half the sticker pack.
All right,
like
man.
good
The
stuff.
steps. I missed it.
I missed that so
the
much.
steps, man. That was fantastic.
Nothing makes me feel more alive than meeting our beloved members of the
I
chat
know.
and then shaming them internationally.
That's right. No
Lycos
one's
was
safe.
a good one, man. Lycos was a good one. That was a good participant on the steps, guys. Every Friday, as I brought up, what do we have here?
Oh yeah, I just want to break the fourth wall, just so you guys.
Wow,
know. You guys
look
want to
at
get
that.
really meta? So
Oh,
on
my
the show
goodness.
right now is a picture of me on the show,
Oh my!
and if you
Wow.
look really closely in the picture,
I
that's
see it.
actually me on the show. I don't know. I just thought that was cool.
Wow.
That was cool.
man. That's, so
That's
meta.
one of the worst things I've ever seen. I'm not impressed.
That's
by that
very,
at all.
very cool.
This is why I missed the D-line sign.
I DM'd her.
All right, that does it, guys, for today's show. So if you don't know, this is our first week of the true off season. We had the little one buffer week where it was kind of like our semi on vacation. Our minds were on vacation. But this week, Monday, mailbag. So you guys want to tune in Monday at 2:00? We're going to be answering all your guys' questions. Tuesday, Thursday, we're going to have guests. Wednesday, we do the draft prospect. Next week, we'll have a new prospect that we're going to discuss. And then, of course, casual Friday with all the fun stuff that we always do, including the steps. So if you want another chance next week, guys, you have a chance to win DNVR merch, maybe a subscription. Yeah,
That's how
I
it
will
always
destroy-
starts.
yeah, that's
How
how
it
they
always starts, Mile.
always
That's
say
what
it.
they all
That's
say.
what they all say.
It's like
They
a
get the
fantasy
hot
drafting.
seat, baby.
Not
And
as
Allie-
easy as it looks from home.
And I have one last video I'd like to share from.
Oh
from
God!
online, of
All right,
course.
I'll see you
This
guys
show's
later.
never gonna end.
Oh, maybe I shared the wrong one. You know what? Never mind.
That's the show.
That is the show.
Hold on.
What?
Oh, it's not working.
What are we doing?
I'm trying to show the Malone clip.
I'll meet you guys at a legal piece.
All right, we gotta get out of here. Echoing, everything's going crazy. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, become a DNVR member, all the good stuff. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Be nice to each other.
Let's go.